Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey, 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 hey. Hello, foodie booties. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna get back into one of my favorite girls, Chantal's show, Chantal Marie, Big Beautiful Me, The Daily Chantal, Foodie Booty, Flobby Bobby. Yes, we're gonna talk about our girl Chantal today. Now, it's been a while since I talked about her, covered what she's doing on her channel, but within even just this past weekend, girl has gone through probably a full-on cycle of eating outside of sharing a full mukbang of Arby's or Wendy's or whatever it is that she's choosing to eat on camera these days. It's just wild how quickly these things go for her, and I want to give you a whole overview of what happened because honestly it happened so quickly I would have never been able to cover it in the moment as it was going on. So when we last left our girl, she was in a hotel room after her house was getting fumigated for cockroaches. So, that was really a great place for her to be starting from. Upon return home to her hopefully cockroachless house, she decided it's time for a new weight loss journey. It's time for a new adventure. This is so important. And so she posted a video of herself going grocery shopping with one of my favorite side characters, Pete's. Now she titled this video, My 400-Pound Life, Grocery Adventures with Pete's. So girl's out here clickbaiting her weight, and that would be one thing if she was actually gonna do anything about her weight. But I'm just like, really girl, this is the title. This is the one we're going with. This is what you're choosing. Okay, I see you. I see you. No worries. So the video overall was relatively uneventful. She bought a whole bunch of produce, a whole case of mangoes at one point. The only thing that particularly actually bothered me about this video was Pete's. I thought Pete's was creepy. I thought Pete's was disgusting. They start the video off in Chantal's car, and Pete's has a lot to say about getting butt shots.
Oh, there's so much unpacking to do and everything, and I'm kind of tired, so wasn't really up to doing an actual adventure. But hey, we can make an adventure out of grocery shopping, right?
Sure.
And no obligatory butt shots.
Oh, there will be an obligatory butt shot.
No.
Yep, absolutely 100%.
Oh my god. All right, guys. Well,
It's obligatory. It's an obligation.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
An obligation and an honor.
Okay, guys. Yeah, I'm sure my fans will appreciate it. Oh, I got a fun game. They could try to compare what produce in the produce section my butt looks like. The shape.
That sounds fun.
I think a pumpkin.
Yeah, probably. And obligatory butt shot. Right off the bat.
So it feels really creepy because as you saw, Pete's was like, I'm gonna get an obligatory butt shot. And then Chantal was like, no, you're not. And he's like, no, I have to. It's obligatory. It's something I have to do. And for me, that just seemed to lack all kinds of consent. And now, don't get me wrong. Clearly, Chantal still chose to include the butt shot. But I feel like it's still really gross. That kind of behavior and putting it out there that some man feels like he is obligated to take photos or video of your butt. I don't know. I was just really uncomfortable. It's the only time that Pizza's really, truly rubbed me the wrong way. I think he's a real weird guy, and that's his truth, and I'm gonna let him live that. But that kind of level of creepiness really icks me out. Really, really, really icks me out. Sure, Chantal could have left all of that out if she didn't really want it in there, but it just made me uncomfortable. Something didn't sit right with me. And that's really all I'm gonna say about it. Pete's came off really creepy to me. So that video was pretty much a waste Like, you didn't get a whole lot out of it outside of her, like, doing her pretty normal cycle of buying a whole bunch of fruit and veg and then not eating any of it. So it does, however, lead into the next video that she posted on her channel, which has already been deleted, which was a video about her decision to now be fruitarian. This first got a reaction out of me when it was first posted, because really truly what made me continue to make videos about Chantal was her like ridiculous fad dieting. She was doing water fast, she was doing grape fast, she was plant-based for a while, allegedly, but was eating meat off camera. And she just does continuously all these fad diets, and she'd really given up on them in the past like 6 months at least. I can't remember, honestly, the last time that she tried to do a fad diet. Any other time that she's gotten back on this like health journey. I guess she did try keto for a while, and that's, I mean, as much as like I support it and think it works for people, like it's a fad diet. This is a continuous cycle for her, and so I was a little shook that she was back on this train, this fruitarian lifestyle. And so I knew I was gonna have to watch it. Unfortunately, it got deleted before I ever like filmed a reaction or anything. But y'all got the hookup, y'all hooked me up, and y'all helped me find a copy of it. So we are gonna go a little bit like clip by clip of some things that I saw in this video that I found to be concerning, problematic, a mess, all of the above. So she starts out the video talking a lot about how like, this is my journey, this isn't about other people's journeys, like don't get offended if like I'm not doing the exact diet that you want, which is like, sure, fine, whatever. I mean, everybody has something that works for them. Cool. I love that. I see that. But it's like she's already setting up this idea that like, y'all aren't gonna like what I'm doing and I'm probably gonna fail, so just like chill and don't even give me any feedback about this. That is already setting a tone of like, I don't want to hear anything from anybody else. I just am gonna do me because this is what works for my body. It's like, chill girl, you've been trying to do what works for your body, and I think it's fair that people would have questions about whether or not you really know what is good for your body or not. One thing that she talks about is how she is grateful for her cycling.
I'm actually grateful for my cycling, because if you're cycling, it means you haven't learned anything, right? It means not that you haven't learned anything. You may have picked up some things each time. Each cycle might be different, but cycling is important. It's important to, I'm grateful for the cycles I've gone through, and they've taught me a lot about myself, believe it or not.
She claims that this has like taught her a whole lot about herself, and that's why it's important that she continues going through cycle, but you clearly have not learned anything about yourself. You keep doing the same things over and over and over again. Whether it is the like grocery shopping hauls with Pete's, whether it's the like fad diets that you continuously go on, or whether it's like the failed mukbangs where you just say, listen, I'm just gonna do whatever I want and eat whatever I want on camera. So like, what exactly are you trying to say you've learned from this? You've clearly learned nothing. Nothing has changed. Nothing is different. If you're learning from it, then demonstrate that. Make a change, do something different. But I'm on like year 2 or 3 of watching you, and this cycle keeps repeating, and you have not gotten healthier. You have not made any changes to impact your life, and you just keep lashing out and getting frustrated on YouTube. I don't think this is healthy. I would rather you go do this off camera and find help off camera. Like, I think that's what you need to do. But to say that you have learned so much from this cycling, this like very problematic cycling that you continue to do over and over again, you aren't learning. You aren't learning from that. That is you trying to package this up and sell it as something different. The cycling you have gone through has not been healthy. One thing I also wanted to point out is her thoughts about Weight Watchers.
I better eat in moderation. So you would go to something like try some normal diet that people are doing, you know, like Weight Watchers, where you can eat things in moderation, you know, like, okay, you can have a bowl of chips. It's 6 or 7 points. You can eat at the restaurant, but you got to watch your points. And I know it sounds like I'm being condescending, but I'm not. Weight Watchers is a great system for a normal person. And I did read about this in, I've been reading a lot, so I don't know, can't remember where, I need to start writing down my sources, but you know, it's for a normal person, a normal eater who is not super morbidly obese, maybe has a few pounds to lose, 20, 30 pounds, and isn't a food addict and doesn't have an eating disorder, because you can be overweight and not have an eating disorder. For those people, they can have something in moderation.
So as you can see there, she uses the word normal to describe people who aren't her and say like, oh, normal people can do this. But I just want to quickly remind you, while we're here, all here gathered in this space together, that she had a lot of thoughts about me referring to people who go outside as normal when talking about Amberlynn Reid.
This reaction video in particular, for example, that she was reacting to, I found to be very ableist. And ableist is basically, you know, discriminating against somebody who doesn't have, based on their ability to do something, right? Am I describing that right?
Yeah, ableist would be, you know, discrimination against people who have some kind of disability, whether physical or mental or emotional disability.
And this was just a video of her going out for a walk and playing with her dog, and it had to turn into this big ordeal where she was going for a walk and this guy was like, normal people. And number one, I don't know how you can stand this person's voice, but normal people can go for a walk, girl. And it's like, that's what's ableist. That's fat shaming. So it's acceptable for you to do that, but if that was a video being made about you, a homophobic video, it would be an outrage. But because it's a person who's overweight and has failed at dieting and has gained weight and is going through a rough time, like, it's acceptable.
Another thing that really bothered me is that she talked about cognitive behavioral therapy.
I have to suffer. I have to, you know, go through the pain, and it's that pain that it's just so tough to get through. And that's a character flaw. There's no sense of responsibility and discipline that I need to exercise those. This group of personality I guess you would call, I don't know what you'd call them, but this group of traits, attributes that I need to exercise in order to become successful in this. And that's where some kind of, you know, it's cognitive behavioral therapy is good for that.
Therapy is a great way to overcome addiction, and I definitely think that therapy would be a great tool for you, Chantal, but you're in this whole video not talking about going to therapy to correct your behaviors. You're not talking about going there and seeking alternative tools to using food to cope with your problems. So to bring up cognitive therapy and then only go on to talk about this fruitarian diet that you're going to do, miss me with that. It's annoying. It's frustrating. Therapy is a great tool. You could really benefit from it, but you can't provide self-therapy through fruits and vegetables. That's not how this works. Fruits and vegetables are not therapists. Food is not therapy, and that is your problem. That is what you're missing. That's why you need to talk to an actual therapist so that you don't go seeking out fad diets as solutions to your mental health concerns, Chantal. So, one big portion of this video, unfortunately, is our girl talking about her digestive failures, her digestive system, the way her digestive system reacts to food.
This diet that I'm left with, when I ask myself, am I going to binge on these foods? I'm left with basically certain, any fruit, but certain vegetables. And certain vegetables I have here's the digestive system part. My digestive system is very sensitive, very, 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 very sensitive, to the point where I don't know how to talk about this without being gross. If you're grossed out, don't watch this, okay? I've never been fully diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure it's IBS, irritable bowel, because so many things will trigger a loose stool almost right after I eat. On top of that, I have no gallbladder. So my body, which your gallbladder They'll say, oh, you don't need your gallbladder. That's another problem I have. That's another video. You don't need your gallbladder. It's a vestigial organ. You could live without it. You can live without it, but it's a very important organ in your digestive system. So when I eat something that's high fat, which is why keto doesn't work for me, even clean keto, because things that are very high in protein as well, like meat, I notice any kind of meat, dairy especially, I cannot have dairy in moderation. If I buy cheese and have it in the house, it goes right, it really irritates my digestive system.
She starts off right off the bat by saying that she does not have a diagnosis of anything, but she thinks she has self-diagnosed herself. That's redundant. She has diagnosed herself with IBS, and everything she eats gives her a loose stool. I'm sorry, what? I just feel like, girl, if you get a loose stool from every single thing you eat, something ain't right, and you do need to go to the doctor and get a diagnosis. And if you do go to the doctor and they diagnose you with IBS, potentially then maybe they can also offer you some goddamn solutions. They could probably give you some medicine. They could probably give you some guidance on what types of foods to eat. All of this is so confusing that you're sitting here getting a loose stool. And yes, here I am on my channel talking about Chantal's loose, runny, wet stool. But you're sitting here eating these foods, getting wet stools on a regular basis, and you're not going and talking to the doctor about that? First of all, that has to be miserable. That has to be absolutely miserable. That is not a feeling I would want to feel on a consistent basis. Which leads me to say that if you are getting this type of feeling and this type of bodily reaction from any type of food, why would you continue to eat it on a regular basis? This is what I don't understand about your behavior, is that you claim to know that there are gonna be foods that make you feel some type of way, which is probably true, but then you still choose to eat it. You go on a 5-minute ramble about cheese and how much you want cheese in this video and in the grocery haul video, and it's just you also are able to identify that cheese makes you feel miserable. Now, I know that's a problem that a lot of people deal with. A lot of people have lactose intolerance, XYZ, whatever, but it's just girl, you can help yourself here by actually doing what you're saying and listening to your body, and you clearly don't have control over that. I just really wish you would go see an actual doctor. You live in Canada. I know that the healthcare system there might have some flaws in terms of having to wait and things like that. But what else are you doing with your life? What else are you doing with your time that you can't wait to see a doctor to get some of these things under control? I think it's absolutely ludicrous that you won't go and consult a doctor about this. I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I will never claim to be. But based on what you're saying, if those things were happening to me or somebody in my family, I would say go see a doctor. Go get this sorted out. It feels ludicrous to me that you would sit here in misery and pain and deal with all of this. So Chantal also makes a lot of comparisons to addiction, particularly heroin addiction.
Whenever you have, and I know people hate when I compare this because they don't treat food addiction the same as any other addiction. They think that, okay, a heroin addiction, for example, it can kill you. Yes, food addiction can kill you too, but it's more gradual. So in that sense, heroin addiction is more dangerous. But food scientifically has been proven to have the same pleasure response in the brain as drugs such as heroin. I'm not making that up. You can do the research yourself. I'm not here to tell you all the research. I don't have time in this video to do that, but you can do it yourself.
Now, this is not something new. This is something that Chantal has done in the past. She has tried to make connections to food addiction with chemical substance addiction, and while I do think that food addiction is real and that she clearly has no self-control when it comes to that, I just wish that if she was really going to make these comparisons to try to get people to believe that it's this serious, that it's that bad, that she would take it that serious, as if it were that bad. You know what I'm saying? I have no doubt that she struggles with being able to control herself around food, but you know what? People who struggle with substance abuse do to like get over that? They go to therapy. They check themselves into rehab. They do all kinds of things that you won't do, that you have not done. You talked about cognitive behavior therapy in this video, but yet you've done nothing to act on that. You've done nothing to actually seek mental health assistance. In true Chantal fashion, she also references a bunch of things and people that aren't medical professionals, in this instance particularly fruitarian social media influencers.
I feel like there will be a huge health breakthrough, because anybody who I've ever watched, and I do watch a lot of people and I follow people on Instagram who are high raw, fruitarian, vegan, and it's they just look so like they're glowing. Like they have this like vitality, this glowing look. Like,
and what I have to say about that is like, she focused so much on how great and glowing their skin is, and it's like, girl, skin is not your number one issue. It's not. Like, having glowing skin should not be your number one concern here, girl. You literally just spent a solid 10 minutes of this video talking about how you have wet, loose stools. That should be your concern. And you're sitting here, oh, they have such beautiful skin. Whenever I did a water fast, my skin was glowing. And it's like, great, good, but what are you doing about your digestive system, girl, that you've broken? Social media influencers aren't doctors. Go seek a doctor. Go seek actual medical advice. These Instagram influencers are doing things for the likes and the clicks. They're not doing things because they're genuinely concerned about your health or your weight loss. Like, and maybe to some extent they are, but like at the end of the day, they aren't sitting down with you one-on-one. They don't know your medical history. They don't know things to be able to give you an actual suggestion when it comes to your medical health. Like, go talk to a doctor. So eventually she does get to discussing what her diet plan is moving forward on her channel.
so what I'm going to do is, it's a pricey investment, but it's for my health, right? So I have a juicer. So I want to drink fresh juice right in the morning. A celery juice, carrot ginger juice, something like that. Apple juice. So yeah. And then maybe for lunch, a mono fruit meal. And maybe for dinner, a huge green smoothie. I bought bags of spinach. I have chia seeds, which have so much calcium and good protein and good fat, omega-3s. And I will be taking a multivitamin. I have a good quality multivitamin on the way, which will have like B12 and stuff like that. And I know that's the thing. Like, I know you guys are going to roll your eyes and say, oh, plant-based again. But it's, for me, I feel better trying over and over instead of just what's the alternative then, guys? Like, what do you want me to do? Give up fully,
So just as a quick overcap, she is planning on eating mostly fruits and veggie, which she's done before. And I just gotta say, I don't think this is gonna work. I don't think removing every other food group besides fruit and veggies is really gonna work for you, girl. And I know this because you've tried it before and it's not worked. It's not sustainable for you. You continue to try this over and over and over and over and over again, and it goes nowhere. You don't last more than a couple days every time you try it. If you had tried something and it lasted a year, maybe even half a year, maybe even a few months, we might be having a different conversation right now. But you have tried this so many times and it's gone nowhere. It fails you every single time. And maybe more so than it fails you, you fail yourself. Instead of using pseudoscience from documentaries you find on the internet or social media influencers and what they tell you about their diet and their lifestyle, you need to go talk to an actual doctor who can give you the actual science and the actual facts. Yes, some doctors are going to have different suggestions and it's going to vary from doctor to doctor, but doctors have actually spent a lot of time in their lives researching the actual science behind these things. So go spend some time with a doctor who can actually help you. My largest concerns with these fad diets and her promoting them on her channel is that people will click and they will want to know information about this and want to take these things seriously. Now, granted, at this point, if you've followed Chantal for a long time and you're seriously looking at her for medical advice, diet advice, weight loss advice, then you are just as dumb as Chantal, truly. Truly, I believe it 100%. With that being said though, people on YouTube get new subscribers every day. People get new subscribers every day who have no idea the history of their channel. I can tell you this because people comment and ask me questions on my channel all the time that I've answered before or I've addressed before. I see them post things about Amber Lynn and Chantal and the Slaytons that they think that I've never heard before or I've never seen before or that they don't know themselves. It's impossible for somebody to go through and see every single video that Chantal has ever posted and to know every single thing that she's ever done. So I do think that there is the risk and the chance that some people are coming to her channel brand new and thinking that this woman is onto something. And for that, I think that that is just truly problematic and scary. And Chantal needs to focus less on hawking these fad diets and more on just taking care of herself off camera, because all of this that she's been doing for the 2 years that I've been watching her, maybe 3, I don't know, none of it's worked. She's learned nothing from the cycling. Don't let her fool you. She has learned nothing from the constant cycling, and it's concerning, and I think she needs to take time away from the computer, time away from YouTube, time away from her phone, and just focus on getting actual medical help and advice from a professional. So in true Chantal fashion, she also had a number of community posts, and I am gonna read them this time because y'all dragged me in my last video when I didn't read them, but I just want to warn you, homegirl's out here writing novels. So the first one she posted said, "Guys, I'm freaking out. This is so hard. I started filming part of my day for you. I've been eating like I said I was going to, but I'm at that point again where I just want to eat normal. Like meatloaf and green beans and mashed potatoes and a piece of homemade zucchini chocolate chip loaf for dessert and a glass of milk. I know this all sounds crazy and like trolling and like bipolar to everyone, but I feel trapped in the cycle. I feel like there is not much available, or maybe I'm not listening to the doctor. No, girl, you're not. I always start thinking I know what's best and for some reason need to cleanse. My doctor wanted me to focus on the following: no fast food, no eating in bed or in the car, no diets, don't over-restrict, treating binge eating, and to eat all meals planned out. If you eat proper meals and a snack, for example, rather than skip a meal, you will be less likely to binge. He also wants me on Vyvanse, which I stopped because I don't like the feeling at the end of the day. I'm also honestly, again, running into the problem of not enjoying my own content. I need to give it a bit of thought because I can't keep doing this to you guys or I will lose all of you. I am sorry for my self-righteous video yesterday. At the time, I truly believed in what I was saying, but realize now, like some of you have said, it's just not realistic. I still want to be accountable for making changes. I also want to do homemade cooking and mukbangs. I know this seems like a slippery slope, but I really think I can make it work. No huge fast food junk mukbangs. Homemade. I need to learn to meal plan and cook. We can do this together. I still have to eat to beat my addiction, which sounds weird. So I don't see the harm in having a social meal with you guys every night for dinner. Oh, also keep the adventures with Pete's, etc. Just not solely weight loss stuff. I honestly find it more triggering somehow. Anyways, I'm so sorry, guys." So in there, she clearly says she hasn't listened to a thing a doctor has said. So apparently she has talked to a doctor, which I knew in the past she has. I'm not convinced she's talked to somebody recently, but she has talked to a doctor and not taken a lick of their advice. She also posted the following: "Hey guys, I'm not going to sit here and throw a tantrum and all that stuff that is expected of me, but if anything, this is the final straw, and I will be going back to doing content I enjoy and working on myself. I'm not going to care anymore if others think that it is acceptable. And if you have a right to think that, but that being said, and that will be the last of it, I don't believe it. I noticed that obese people on YouTube who have weight loss journeys are treated horribly and less than human sometimes. If you are fed up, fine, unsub and don't watch. But I literally had people telling me to kill myself because I didn't stick to a diet. Regardless of it being annoying, don't watch then. But you are not welcome to comment here, and you will simply be blocked. I know I messed up, but it's not a huge deal that warrants this reception. I am still a human. It's always the same hateful people who bitch and moan on our videos, but will still watch just to try and bring us down. And they are also the primary audience for most reaction channels. I don't know how any sane individual can't see this, but I'm sick of letting it affect my content. So if you don't like my content, or my attitude, or my farts, or whatever your problem is, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, devil emoji. I literally saw a reaction channel pause their video in order to criticize how someone was cutting up their vegetables. Eye roll emoji. Over it, LOL. I try not to react to these things as I see them, but it's so hard not to sometimes. See you guys tomorrow, XO. So my problem with this whole post is that, one, she has talked on and on and on and on and on again about two things. One, in her most recent video, in the Fruitarian video, she said, yeah, I want to be held accountable. I want people to hold me accountable, blah, 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 blah. And now she's like, don't hold me accountable. Don't say anything. I don't deserve this. Which, like, she doesn't deserve for people to tell her to kill herself. In all honesty, a lot of people that comment on her posts are just saying, like, I'm really disappointed that you didn't follow through with this. Like, when are you gonna get help? When are you gonna do stuff to take care of yourself? So that's just, this concept of her not understanding why people hold her accountable is ridiculous. Second of all, she's out here saying she's watching reaction channels again, girl. You have said that these reaction channels, that you don't watch them, that when you do watch them, it's harmful to you. So what are you doing? Why do you engage in this behavior if allegedly these reaction channels are so harmful to you? I don't get it. Help me understand. So she did give one last community post, at least that I have records of. It's possible she had others and deleted them and I don't have them, and that's all I can say. But this is the last one I have, which is, I never realized how disordered my thinking was before. For me, it's always one extreme or the other when it comes to diet. I'm not saying that I'm cured, but I'm learning. I found some great resources combined with therapy that will help me along the way. I'll be back later this evening to share a balanced meal with you guys. First step is getting outside help and support. Second is getting rid of the extreme mindset, cleanses then binges. And third is to simply start with eating balanced, cooked meals. I'm not saying I will never eat out, but instead of ordering fast food 3 times a day and eating it in secret, I will eat out sparingly, as is supposed to be done for birthdays or special occasions. I realize also that watching someone with an eating disorder must be frustrating, and only if you suffer with it or have experience with someone who has one can you truly understand what it is like. Well, admittedly, I think it's also quite obvious that I don't even fully understand it. I have been away because after my Fruitarian ordeal, I retreated back to the drawing board once again and thought of home-cooked meals and foods I know I will enjoy and made a menu for us to enjoy together. See you soon! P.S. The resources I have found use CBT and other methods to stop the shame and guilt associated with binges, so constantly criticizing and shaming others with an eating disorder only makes it worse. Before you throw judgment, try to fully understand the psychological damage you could potentially bring on someone. Which, girl, I mean, I agree. I think people should always be thoughtful and cognizant about the judgment and the response and the critique they're giving, but you have consistently posted nonsense on YouTube, on your social media. You consistently put out these mixed messages and signals, and all your viewers are asking you to do is to go seek actual help. So if you really are seeking therapy, which I doubt, because you said I have found resources that use CBT. So that doesn't necessarily sound like therapy. It sounds like some other resource, because like, why wouldn't you just call it a therapist if it was a therapist? But if you're really seeking therapy and seeking this help outside of social media, great. But you need to leave this stuff. You have not learned anything from cycling. You have not. YouTube is a part of your cycle, for better or worse, and you need to get off. You need to get off and go seek actual help for these things. This isn't funny, Chantal. It's not. You need to take care of yourself. This is so ridiculous that you think you can come back. You're already talking about doing a cycle again. Oh, I'm coming back. It's balanced meals. I have a whole plan for you. Girl, great. I want you to plan for yourself, but leave it off. Leave it off YouTube. Leave it off with social media. It's not worth it. It's really not. So anyways, that's all I have for you today. Let me know your thoughts down below about what's going on here. I think it's so ludicrous, and honestly, I can't keep up with her, and I hope she gets help. Is really all I have to say. If this is your first video and you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I go live. Also, please make sure to leave me some comments, hit the like button, and follow me on all of my social media. I had so much fun with you all today. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!